Professor. I'm back to show you Milestone 4. I believe this is Milestone 4. And go over my saleable product application. So let's get the ball rolling. Click this out so we can restart. Okay, I just had to update something. I was trying to update something. I'll explain it in a minute. But there wasn't a whole lot that I had to add to my flowchart, just because all we were really doing was adding a database via a JSON file, basically. Which I remember in my first video I was saying, I really want this to come in from a database. So this has been really fun to try to figure out how to get it to come in from a JSON file. I personally would rather it come from a cleaner looking database, but I understand that this is just an exercise to learn JSON files, which totally get it. It's something that I have to use in Python at work, so totally understand. So for the changes that I made, I just changed this beginning to say that we're initializing the store inventory with a JSON file, because it just said initialize store inventory because that's what it was doing. It was calling it from another module, but now we're calling it from the JSON file. I'll try to slow down my talking. Just like, I remember running out of time. So hopefully I don't run out of time. So we're going to initialize the JSON file. Then it's going to show the menu. And then from there we have choices, right? Here's a user action. There's a purchase action. If the inventory has the product, no. If the answer is no, then we have to tell the customer that it's out of stock. Otherwise, yes, you can continue on. It's exactly the same from here until the end. I guess, do I need to go through it all over again? I guess I will. If I don't need to keep going through it over and over again, just let me know and just tell me to talk about the changes. Looks like I ran into something. So anyway, if we have it, yes, how much do you want to purchase? If the quantity is greater than 0, then we want to remove that quantity of item from the inventory and add those items to the cart. And then we'll go all the way up here. So if the total price is greater than 0, every time they put something in the cart, it's going to display the cart, their total, and then give them the menu when they're done with that product. So then we have another user action. Obviously, we get back to the menu. So they can choose to check out, exit / checkout, or they can choose, to view their cart or any of those things. They can, which basically, I guess I need to add that one too. Viewing their cart would basically take them back up to this, where it would display their cart and their total. You can also view the inventory of the products, which is not on here either. So that needs to be updated. But really the most important things to add, since we're learning JSON files and try, catch, stuff, IO, exception handling, were these 2 things. So got those in there. So then let's go to the UML class chart, which I didn't have to add. Oh, that's not true. I did have to add new class, my getters and setters. This is what I was trying to fix. I ended up breaking something else. So that's, that's how it goes. That's coding in a nutshell. Add something to fix something, you break something else. So let's add my getter and setter. And here I actually added inventory, or get quantity purchased, because I was unknowingly returning the quantity of what was left in the inventory, not the quantity of what my customers were purchasing. So when I went to purchase 1 sword from my menu, it ended up purchasing, it said it was purchasing 9 because there are 10 in the inventory. So I had to figure this one out. Quantity purchased. And then it'll be the same thing for the setter. So I'm just going to paste. That's for the setter. I'm losing it. That's okay. It's late. I really just need to take all this out. Oh my goodness. My apologies. Okay, so That's all I needed to change. Everything else stayed the same. All the getters and setters are here in saleable product. It's actually in the saleable product application one. So everything stayed the same from there. I didn't need to add any classes or modules for that JSON file. We just had to import a bunch of stuff, you know. So that's that, and I will submit an updated one of these. So we definitely don't want that to be out of date. So let's go run it, and I will show you the error that I accidentally created while trying to fix something else. I really wanted to fix it tonight, but I'm starting to run out of time, and I would rather have something with one little hiccup than nothing to show you at all. So in here we had to, I could not figure out how to get that those modules in without using the creator. So they are in here in my reference libraries, as you can see right here. Still in my downloads, but I'll move them in a minute. So we have Jackson annotations, core, and data bind right here in my reference libraries. But anytime I tried to reference them, it wouldn't work. So I had to use the JSON creator. I also had to add to my module info to export saleable product and saying that it requires these things. And that fixed it. So I did a lot of reading to figure out how to fix that, but it's working. So I'm going with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've learned that the hard way at work by trying to, I want to make this better. Oh, well, this code is a little messy. Let me clean it up. If it works, just pray and thank the coding gods and move on. So, what are we doing? Yes. We're going to run this. So where did we add inventory manager? Are we reading in the JSON file? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Would it? Yes, it does. Here's where we're saving it to. This is where I made it prettier because it was all, the first time I printed it was all in one line. So I had to go make it prettier. Saleable product, get the list. The list is coming from the JSON file. There's deserializing. I have to go find it. There it is. Okay. So we're getting the inventory. It's all still in the same class and method. So that's why I didn't update the UML. But we're getting the inventory from this JSON file called inventory.json, which is over here in my folders or my folder structure. I didn't make like a resource folder just because it's literally only the 2 files right now, which ideally it will only be 1 because you want a database. I have an updated inventory, so it calls in inventory, reads what I have, and then spits out an updated inventory. So then that way, for my testing purposes, I can see, okay, I started with 10 and now it's outputting that I only have 9 left because somebody bought this thing. But obviously, ideally, it would just be an updated file, preferably with a log, so then that way we could see what changes were being made. An updated database with a log. So that's the goal. We'll get there, hopefully. I hope we get to make a GUI for this. I wouldn't have time to do it outside of class, but I hope we get to make one. That'd be fun. Okay, so let's run it. So we're running from the storefront application. Pew! So we are going to purchase a product. Let's purchase. This is the example I've been using because it's easy. I know that there are 10 swords, so we're going to buy 1 sword. So here's the bug. Here's what I have to figure out next. It's saying that I'm purchasing a quantity of 0. It used to say quantity of 9, which was wrong, and now quantity of 0 is also wrong. Whatever. So we have a sword. Its price is $50. My total price is $50. My product's coming. Great. So now let's look at our inventory. We started with 10 swords at a price of $50. I need to display the description. I have a description. Why am I not displaying that description? I'm going to make a note to display that. Then we have our updated inventory, which I know it doesn't look exactly the same, but, you know, we can at least see that we had 10, and now we have 9. I wasn't spending a whole lot of time formatting because it's at least readable and usable. Perfection never comes in coding, so I learned that the hard way too. And I'm still learning that every day because I want this to be perfect. You just got to back off, and if it works and it meets the requirements, it's another thing that we're hopefully going to learn in school, right? Talk about requirements. Minimum viable products. Okay, so quantity purchased should be 1. So I'm still playing with this new quantity purchased thing, which I know wasn't part of our assignment, but it's something that I felt like it needed. So part of the robustness of my code, I suppose. So it can read in and produce a JSON file. Let's actually delete this one so that we can see it create it. So let's run this one more time, and then I'll get out of your hair. So let's see, we have 5 plate mails. So let's buy a plate mail. So, whoops, so we should have 4 by the time we're done. Action number 0. Still told me I don't have any. It's almost like it's misplacing this 0. Wild. Okay, well, it's $100. So if we refresh, it did actually create our updated inventory. So now we have 4 instead of 5. So it is working, which is great. It's just not doing all the fun things that I want it to do yet. But I know we have a few more weeks, so hopefully we'll, I'll get to all that soon. The last thing I talked about in my last video, I think I fixed it. I haven't tested it in a couple of days, but let's check. If I try to buy too many, it shouldn't let me buy them. So let's go to plate mail again, because we know that there's 5. We want to buy 6. Insufficient quantity. Yes, it does work. Great. So that's all I wanted to check. Thanks for listening. This has been really fun. I love the idea of creating my own fantasy store. So this is awesome. I could do this for Dungeons and Dragons. Could be a good time. So see you next time.